What if John Connor never existed? Or rather, what if he didn't exist in the original Terminator timeline? A timeline we never got to see. Ever since the Terminator was released, promising the idea that the future's not set, the question of John Connor's parentage and the temporal paradox it created have nagged at the minds of some nitpicky, detail-oriented fans like myself. Recently, I read a fantastic theory that ties up this particular loose end for good. So credit to Quora user Justin Wynn for this theory, which suggests that in the original timeline, John Connor never actually existed. John Connor was a persona dreamt up by the survivors of the war as propaganda for the remaining humans and as a distraction for Skynet, forcing Skynet and the machines to spend their resources hunting a man who didn't exist and thus they could never terminate. This ruse became so effective in inspiring the humans to fight that the survivors had to keep doubling down on the existence of John Connor, utilizing body doubles and such to keep the momentum of the war from shifting. So on the eve of the human victory, which Kyle Reese mentions in the first film, and we've seen played out across multiple movies, the machines have grown so desperate that they turned to time travel to kill the mother of a man they couldn't track down in their own timeline. However, when Skynet sent a killing machine to the past, it meant the humans had to respond and send someone back as well. Otherwise, they risked the timeline being altered in a way that would endanger their very survival. So Kyle Reese, a battle-hardened John Connor fanatic, was chosen to protect a random woman in the past, a woman named Sarah Connor, the same random woman that the T-800 was targeting. Because why else would the super sophisticated AI that can control militaries and has detailed files of human history have to look up all the LA-based Sarah Connors in the phone book? It's because John is fake and his mother was fake and randomly chosen to be named Sarah, which is just bad luck for all the Sarahs in LA. So Kyle Reese goes back in time and falls in love with this particular Sarah Connor and ends up fathering a child named John Connor. John Connor was literally made flesh and blood by a man who believed in the myth of John Connor so much that he convinced this random woman named Sarah to believe in the same thing, making the great leader of humanity a self-fulfilling prophecy. And of course, Sarah's own experiences with Reese and with the T-800 convinced her to raise her son to be the strong, tough military leader that he was always imagined to be. Because after all, there is no fate. I love this theory because it ties up a loose end in an otherwise fantastic movie franchise and finally does away with that pesky contradiction of a temporal paradox, as well as addressing what the original film questionably presented as a closed time loop. So, what do you think? You think it is possible that perhaps John Connor, the great military general, never actually existed in the original timeline? Let me know in the comments. My name is Brinna. This is Shot for Shot Chasers. Cheers.